Unit 8, Day 2. Not really new information. How to handle the information a little quicker. How to process this thing a little faster. Here's my title: How to Unit Circle Without the Unit Circle. What does that even mean? How to solve these problems without having to draw out the whole thing, right? Like yesterday, you probably just sat there with this thing next to you and answered the question. And that's fine. That's what it was designed to do, to get you familiar with the unit circle. But the further we go into next semester, we're going to just be sporadically asking these questions. And so you don't want to have to take the time, if in the middle of a test you need to know the sine of 60, you really do not want to take the time to draw out the entire unit circle, all of the angles, label everything, then start thinking, okay, the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Like, we need a faster way to go. Now, on the first test back in the new year, it's all going to be, the test's going to look just like the worksheet. In fact, there's only so many questions we could ask. And so some people are going to draw out the unit circle because it might be worth their time. Just take a few minutes to draw it out. But after that test, you're going to need to still know it, but you're going to need to know it sporadically, so it's not worth the time to draw the whole thing out. So we need to figure out how to answer the questions without having the whole unit circle. And plus, I think it makes things go faster anyway. All right. So here's what I notice about the unit circle. There's some triangle sides. There's a short side, there's middle sides, and there's long sides. And this sort of goes back to those triangles we cut out yesterday. You threw yours away, and that's okay. But all the short sides of those triangles that we had yesterday, all the short sides were 1/2. Some of you kind of notice this. You're like, there's only so many answers to the question, right? Like, if you don't know, you at least have a pool of numbers to guess from, right? 1/2. All the middle sides are root 2 over 2, and all the long sides are root 3 over 2. So if you absolutely get stuck, guess one of those, you got a decent chance of being right. There were also some similarities with the angles. Like, every quadrant has a shallow angle, a middle angle, and a steep angle. And I don't know that we used those words, maybe we did, but we color-coded them. And then maybe we saw that all the shallow angles were something over 6, or are something over 6. Pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 over 6, 11 over 6. All the shallow angles are over 6. How about the middle angles? What are all of those over? 4. And all the steep angles are over 3. So that can help you locate your angle. If it's over 6, I know it's shallow, regardless of whatever else is going on. If I don't know the quadrant, or I can't. If it's over 6, it's a shallow angle. If it's over 4, it's in the middle. If it's over 3, it's a steep angle. Now, thinking about those and knowing those is how I will answer questions from the unit circle. So we're going to do 5 together. But if you got your unit circle out, turn it over. Okay, because I want to walk you through how to do these without staring at the unit circle. Right? Cosine of 60 staring at the unit circle is easy. But let's get to where we can find cosine of 60 quickly, accurately, and without the unit circle. So 60 degrees, what quadrant is that in? Is it the shallow, the middle, or the steep? So quadrant, and then shallow, middle, steep. This one that was steep. Is cosine the x-coordinate or the y-coordinate? x. So I've got my picture. The x coordinate, or the x side of the triangle, would be right there. Is that a short side or a long side? That's a short side. How long are all the short sides?
1/2.
1/2. Cosine of 60 is 1/2. Now, yes, it's easier if you have the unit circle next to you to just look at the unit circle. But if you don't have the unit circle, I think this is the better way to go rather than drawing the whole thing. Sine of 5 pi over 4. I'm trying to think of a acronym to help us do this. Thank you. Kyle. Switzer, sorry. Now you got a backup plan. All right, 5 pi over 4. What quadrant is 5 pi over 4 in? Third. It's a little bit past pi. Is it shallow, middle, or steep?
Shallow.
Middle. So I need a third quadrant middle angle. And then sine. What? Which coordinate tells me sine?
Y.
The y. Is that a short side, a middle side, or a long side? Middle side. And how long are middle sides?
2/2.
And then, is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. So, locate the angle. Then use x or y, and don't forget the plus or minus thing. Tangent of 5 pi over 6. Tangent of 5 pi over 6. What quadrant would that be in?
The second.
Second, because it's almost to pi.
Yeah.
Quadrant 2. Is it shallow, middle, or steep?
Shallow.
Shallow. Because over 6 is always shallow. What about x or y?
It's y over x.
It's y over x. So let's see. I need both of them. The y is the short side.
So that's going to be 1/2.
The x is the long side.
3/8.
Or 3 over 2. Some people will handle the positive or negative right here. Like while you're labeling the triangle, that's negative. It's backwards, so I'll put the negative on there. So y over x would be 1/2 over negative root 3 over 2. Keep it, change it, flip it if you want.
We just do it with that.
But it always works the same. Those 2's are going to cancel. No, don't leave it like that. But we can fix things pretty quickly. We've done some of these. So negative root 3 over 3. That one took a little longer, but it took a little longer because it was tangent. That one was going to take a little longer even if you used the unit circle, because you had to do y over x. Cosecant 5 pi over 3. Cosecant 5 pi over 3. What quadrant's that in? 5 pi over 3 is 4, because you're almost to 2 pi. Is it shallow, middle, or steep? If it's over 3, it's steep. So I need a steep angle in the fourth quadrant. And then cosecant. What's cosecant?
The flip of sine.
of sine. So I need the y coordinate. That looks like a long side of a triangle, so that's root 3 over 2. It's also negative because it's going down. If I flip it, 2 over negative root 3, fix it, 2 root 3 over 3. When you look at my key, I haven't looked at the online key, but if you look at my key, which I have here, you will see, especially on today's worksheet, you will see that I draw the little, that's how I answer the questions. I don't look at the unit circle. I draw a little angle for every problem. And once I draw the angle, I can usually get it without showing much work. Occasionally, tangent, I got to show a little bit. Looks like that's about all I showed it for. Because I can flip them in my head, but tangent's a little bit trickier. So to me, that's the easiest method to go with, rather than, if you have the unit circle with you, that's the easiest way. But if you don't have the unit circle, then you don't want to recreate the whole thing. You want to be able to understand it well enough so that you can work these problems. Let's do one more. Cotangent of pi. Where's pi? What quadrant's that in?
It's just a line.
It's not. It's a trick question. So where is it?
It's on the left.
On the left. That's a good answer. The coordinate to that would be negative 1, 0. And then cotangent.
Always just be it's either 0 or undefined.
It's either 0 or undefined. That's true because it's on the axis. But we need to figure out which one it is. Cotangent is you can either think flip of tangent, which means flip y over x, or you can just go straight to x over y, but either way. So x is negative 1, y is 0. So is that 0 or is that undefined? Undefined. Can't divide by 0. So I wanted you to see that one to remind you that, undefined is always a possibility for an answer. Well, not always. If it's on a quadrant marker, it's a possibility for an answer. All right, today's assignment, Unit 8, Worksheet 2, the odds. Tomorrow's assignment, Unit 8, Worksheet 2, the evens. So basically, between today and tomorrow, finish Worksheet 8, or Worksheet 2 from the packet. Answers are posted, answers are up here. And try to work it without, just staring at the unit circle. That's just kind of a dumb waste of your time to just copy values over. Try to work it some other way where you don't have the unit circle, and that might involve, drawing little pictures. Again, later next semester, the problem isn't going to be 30 unit circle questions. It's going to be 20 sort of normal pre-calc questions, and 3 or 4 times in the test, you'll have to know the sine of 11 pi over 6, or the tangent of 4 pi over 3. So you don't want to spend the time drawing out the whole thing if you can come up with a faster way to get there. So we're trying to get you to go a faster way, even though maybe it feels longer to do it this way rather than just stare at the picture. But in the long run, it's going to be much more beneficial if you can do it the way we were just looking at it. All right, so you got the rest of the time to work on it. Tomorrow, I don't even know that I'll post a video because it's the same stuff. Even if you look at Worksheet 3, it's like, wait, that's more of the same stuff. Oh, how about Worksheet 4? Well, that's more of the same stuff. There's a few tweaks that we add when we'll come back from the break, but like Worksheet 4, negative pi over 6. But if you know where negative pi over 6 is, then you can still answer that question. But we're not worried about that yet.
So worksheets 1 and 2 are due tomorrow?
So worksheet 1 and 2, when do I want to make these due? I think I'm just going to walk around, make sure you're working on them, and they'll just make the whole packet due when we get back. But don't put it off. Work 1 and 2 today. You got all the time today, class, all the time tomorrow during class to finish worksheet 1 and 2. Statistics.